Hey, welcome back. Thought I'd share a few recent pickups with you. Picked up three things from eBay recently. One of them a lot of several cards, and we'll start with that one first. So I've become a pretty big Anthony Rendon fan. I think he's a great ball player with a great character. So I've been looking at picking up his rookie card, his 2013 Topps Update base card. And just happened to come across a lot of three of them on eBay, plus a handful, I think it was four of his rookie debut cards from the same set. I wasn't interested in those, but it was a great price for three of the base rookie cards, so I went ahead and grabbed it. When they showed up, I was real happy with them. The rookie debut cards, a couple of them went into my trade pile and gave a couple of them to my boys. The rookie cards I like a lot. Definitely real happy with those. I think he'll do well with the Angels this year, and I think he'll do well pretty much no matter what he does. Not to say he's going to be the next Mike Trout or anything, but I think these cards are definitely worth holding on to. Really happy to be adding these to the personal collection. And this one was an impulse buy for $2. When I was talking about the Palmeiro autograph that Topps sent me in the previous video, I got out my 87 Don Russ Palmeiro rookie card that I pulled out of one of my random boxes, and it really wasn't in very good shape at all. These black borders show up all kinds of stuff, but it had pretty rough corners. So, a Beckett 9 for $2, I wasn't going to pass that up. I mean, that's about what it's worth. But I'll put this guy in the PC along with the autograph. And I've got a little bit of a plan for the Palmeiro cards that I'll share at some point, but I want to get a little bit further with that first. It may seem strange, but you'll see where I'm going with it. Now, this was another one of the pickups, the last one that I have to share with you today. It's the 55 Topps Ernie Banks. I collect and have a thing for Ernie Banks cards that are in terrible condition, like the worse the better. And that's not really an exaggeration. I mean, like paper loss, you name it. I'm all about it. That really all goes back to this card here. We'll get back to the 55 in just a moment. This 68 I picked up when I was, I guess I don't know exactly how old. When I was first collecting as a kid, I probably wasn't even quite a teenager yet, but it was a long time ago. This I picked up at a card shop. It was pretty much the only thing I could afford at the shop. I would go in there with my buddy and we would drool over all these awesome old cards that we could never afford in a million years. And, I don't know, I probably paid $7 or $8 for it or something. It seemed like all the money in the world at the time, but I absolutely loved this card. Soft corners and creases and all. Loved it, because, Ernie Banks to me was the man. A great ball player and just such a great positive attitude too. So this card, the fact that I still have it and the memories that it brings back, it got me on a kick collecting all the beat up Ernie Banks cards I could find. I'm trying to get at least all of his base cards from every one of his playing years. So I don't have 54 yet. I missed out on an auction not too long ago that was it was just right up my alley. Like the whole top of the card, this is a 54, the whole top of the card was just completely missing on the front. Like the paper loss on the front spanned like the first half inch of the card. Creased, banged up. It was perfect. Meant to bid on it, just it got away from me. This one, his second year card, it looks pretty good on camera probably, but it's got a pretty good crease along here. It's got some creases the long way, and mostly it's got some paper loss on the back here. This is like borderline too good. There are a few of them in here that I almost wish were worse. You know, to me, I always loved Ernie Banks so much that even the worst one of his cards still deserves a place of honor in the collection. So I'm happy to give a good home to his, most trashed, beat up cards. So that's the 55. I got the 56 a while ago. This one really was run through the ringer. It looks okay in the sleeve, but it's got creases every which way. If you look at the sides, it's like it's kind of delaminating. If it's not in the sleeve, it sort of puffs out on the edges. '57 I don't have yet. This is 58. Also, like, this is the condition that's kind of right up my alley. Well, that's wonderfully terrible. Love that. 59. This one is another one of those borderline ones. Like, I almost didn't get this one until the guy I was buying it from pointed out the crease on the corner. Then I was like, oh, well, yeah, I guess I'll take that. It's got some kind of red stain there, obviously off center. But that one's really not all that terrible bad. 1960. This one has some creases here and across the corner. Some kind of weird stain up here. Pretty good. And his 1960 MVP card that has these really strange mark. It almost looks like conveyor marks that maybe smudged the ink or transferred built-up ink across the card during manufacturing. I've seen this on a few cards from the 60s. This is the first time I've seen it in this orientation, though. It's kind of interesting. The back actually is really nice, unfortunately. Got a couple of his 63 cards. This is a neat one with him and Hank Aaron. Obviously pretty beat up, creased, terrible corners. And the home run leaders, it's got Hank Aaron, Frank Robinson, Orlando Cepeda, Willie Mays, and Ernie Banks. These two, I wouldn't mind having these two also in really nice shape just to be in the rest of the collection. And of course our 68. So I think his last card was, 71 tops? So 71, a 70, a 69. Yeah, I got a bunch to fill in the 60s. Obviously his 57 and his 54. Getting there, when I happen to see him, I snag him. Got this 55 for a great deal on eBay, like even considering the condition, from a seller I've bought from before. Really stoked to be adding that. I didn't really expect to find many of his real early cards so quickly after getting back into the hobby here, so that's been a lot of fun. I think that's just about all I have for this time, but coming up, I'm going to have a real interesting, well, for me anyways, real interesting item coming in the mail that I think some of you might like as well. I mean, it's not a monster or anything, but definitely a cool card that I didn't think I was going to get in the condition that it's in. Should be here this weekend. I'll do a video about that when it comes in. And it will also tie into showing some of my modern cards from the personal collection. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.